Good to see you. Oh, look at the Bernie statue.
I know it. That's like him. Go Bernie!
We're at City Hall here. Hey, hi there. Nice to see you.
Ray, I thought you were bouncing. Isn't he bouncing?
Well, we're supposed to be.
Somebody should be holding this on. It should be somewhere else.
He and I are supposed to be on this side. My bike's parked over there.
We're at a press conference right now with Food and Water Watch. We are the Clean Energy Revolution.
The white cat.
Yeah, I can move to the side. I'm just standing here.
Julian,
I'll move to use this.
Right. This is like
it's too big, I think. They're not going to get it. You stand around the very back.
Hi, oh, hi,
Hi, how are you? 5:30. It's just a marketing tool.
Just yes, All right, we'll just turn them back off.
All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning. We're in the middle of an 8-day heat wave, and it's almost 100 degrees outside, so I think that's a pretty good indicator of what we're all here to talk about today. My name is Helen Gim. I'm a newly elected city councilwoman here in Philadelphia, and I'd like to welcome everybody to this great city, the cradle of liberty, in the heart of City Hall at the beginning of the Democratic National Convention to talk about what it means to march for a clean energy revolution. We're here joining together for an urgent call to free our country from its addiction to fossil fuels and to make a swift and just transition to a clean energy future. The bottom line is this. Our cities and our elected officials can no longer continue to sleepwalk their way through a climate crisis of gargantuan proportions that threatens not only our future but our current way of life. In city after city, rising income inequality is built off a social infrastructure reliant on fossil fuels. Philadelphia is the poorest large city in this country and had just over half of our calendar days last year were considered of good air quality. Asthma-related hospitalizations are on the rise, and our residents and our school children struggle for affordable housing and utilities. We struggle for water access. Without a movement to win bold solutions to the climate crisis over the coming years, low-income communities of color in this city and all across the nation will bear the brunt of what should be an avoidable disaster.
That's right.
The good news is that together we are demanding a shift towards clean energy. We are not only on the right side of history on this. We have both a responsibility and an opportunity to rebuild aging cities like Philadelphia with sustainable energy solutions that will help us address how all systems of modern life, that includes buildings and housing, transportation, energy, food, and more, can be powered and structured for a new millennia. If we're going to avoid the worst impacts of the climate crisis, we have to rebuild these systems with an eye towards promoting equity and justice for all. Our cities, this city in particular, has a critical role to play in seeking cutting-edge initiatives that address climate and inequality. When the solutions are stuck in our state assemblies or in DC, we have to look locally and at the connections that we have with grassroots communities that are building a political revolution in order to see evolution at the top. We owe it to our children and ourselves to see the climate crisis not through the lens of deniers and fear and those who fear the future, but through the lens of those who are inspired to build and rebuild for our nation. Thank you. I'd like to turn things over to Winona Howder, founder and executive director of Food and Water Watch, who's worked tirelessly to make this march possible. Winona.
Good morning. When Food and Water Watch became the first national organization in America to call for a ban on fracking, it was viewed as a really marginal issue. But our movement has expanded dramatically and become mainstream. Our movement is diverse and broad-based. It made fracking a major issue in the debate over who would be the nominee for the Democratic Party for the presidency. And today, over 1,000 groups from all 50 states are supporting this march. And we are here to make it clear to Democrats that we are not going to take no for an answer that will create jobs.
Keep it in the ground! 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 Hey, hey, ho, ho! Don't frack us! No nukes! Hey, hey, ho, ho! Don't frack us!
Who is a leading voice for indigenous communities from around the country who are under assault by the fossil fuel industry. Chief Perry.
I would like to thank everyone gathered here, and I would like to remind our national leaders that the people that are here are standing for the earth and for a clean energy revolution. But more importantly, our leadership should understand the people that are standing here are also standing for the millions of Americans, the millions of voters that cannot be with us here today. In addition, I would like our leadership to remember the Ramaphosa and to correct.
What's the megaphone?
Did it?
Hey, pass up the megaphone. John, give me the megaphone.
That was heard.
Oh, good idea.
Oh no, I don't want to.
How's it? Lower a little bit, or that's all right.
That's good. That's very good. Thank
Should I
you.
repeat what I said?
Yeah, start from the beginning, sir. Because I didn't get to hit this. All right, you guys got it.
Thank you.
All right, right here. Thanks. Hello?
All right, let me see if I can turn it up a little bit.
Gathered here in the city of brotherly love, and I would like to thank everyone who has stood and came to stand for our mother the earth. To our national leaders.
You can yell into that if you want.
For a clean energy revolution. And I would like our national leadership to know and our local leadership to know that this is simply the symbolic representation of millions of Americans that stand with us. Millions of American voters. Now it's time for a new clean energy America, and we ask you to step forward. In addition, I ask our national leadership to remember the Ramapo people who made it possible for this country to come into fruition, and to remember the pain, and our people are now dying for lack of that same leadership. I thank you.
And our next speaker is Teresa Hill of Action United.
My name is Elise Earhart, and I'm a rural central Pennsylvanian. And my family lives along the route of the Sunoco Logistics Mariner East pipeline that's proposed to run through 17 counties in Pennsylvania and wind up at the Marcus Hook Industrial Complex just west of Philadelphia. And that product going through that pipe, those pipes, is used in plastics manufacturing, and it's also majority going to be for export, if not all of it for export. And so we're experiencing now with this pipeline infrastructure build out what the people of Philadelphia have been experiencing for 100 years. They're coming into our communities and making them toxic. They're deforesting Pennsylvania. My family actually had a conservation area set aside, which is for the public good. And we're being told now that we don't have a right to engage in conservation for our future, that we have to relinquish our land to this greedy corporation to make it an industrial zone for fossil fuel expansion. So,
Against fracking.
We're against fracking.
Hi everyone, I'm Sandra Steingraber, Americans Against Fracking Science Advisor. I'm a biologist and spent a lot of time looking at the public health effects of the fossil fuel industry. And I'm here to say that while a sense of justice and a sense of ethics, as always, sets our feet marching as citizens of America, it is science that is the grand marshal of this parade of ours.
Yes.
Because what the evidence shows is that the entire unholy trinity of fossil fuels, coal, oil, and gas, is killing the planet, and it's killing ourselves. It's killing the planet when we light it on fire and it leaks from extraction operations and traps heat into our atmosphere. And it's killing us through the extraction and distribution process through toxic exposures. Millions of people and Americans are dead because of exposure to air pollution alone.
Wow.
Stroke, preterm birth, heart attack, lung cancer. When we say air pollution, what we mean are the byproducts of fossil fuel combustion. That's what air pollution is.
Martha.
As the co-founder of Concerned Health Professionals of New York, I have reviewed hundreds of studies about the health impacts of fracking, and with my colleagues in the sciences and medicine have compiled them into a compendium that is hundreds of pages long with 687 footnotes. As a scientist, I did that work objectively. All of us scientists are proud of our ability to let the data speak to us and objectively analyze it. But at the end of the day, when every data point represents a human life, I no longer feel neutral about my objective analysis. Instead, I feel that we must leave it in the ground, which is why I and many scientists are here with you today to walk and say, when data points represent human lives, we will stand up for life and we will march with you. Thank you.
So hi everybody. Hi everybody. I'm Martha Kuhl from National Nurses United. I'm Secretary Treasurer here representing nurses from all across the country. As nurses, we see the effects of the climate crisis daily in our jobs. We see how extreme forms of energy extraction affects our climate and it affects our patients. We see new, rare, deadly forms of cancer. We see more and more asthma, as the sister talked about earlier, daily. We are here today to tell you that this is a public health emergency. Standing up for climate justice also means standing up for health justice, because the communities that are most impacted by the climate crisis are disadvantaged communities. That's where they dump toxic waste. That's where they put emissions. That's where they are extremely impacting our brothers and sisters in our communities. Healthcare justice, Medicare for all would go a long way to leveling the playing field. Not enough. We have to solve the climate crisis, but it would help. We also stand for a just transition. All our brothers and sisters in in the labor community who are working in those industries deserve to be taken care of and transition to a proper, non-fossil fuel economy, a sustainable environment. We need to rebuild our infrastructure. We can put workers to work in this country on behalf of all of us, not in service to the corporations. Lastly, we can all together fight for climate justice and a better planet and a better future for you, me, and our children. Thank you.
Lydia.
Next speaker is Laura Caceres, who is the daughter of the slain leader of the indigenous movement in Honduras.
Hola a todos, muchas gracias por el espacio. Soy Laura y vengo de Honduras. Vengo también para reclamar la responsabilidad que tienen los gobiernos de Estados Unidos por el cambio climático y para contarles cómo este nos está afectando en nuestras comunidades.
Hello everybody, I am Laura Cáceres. I have come here from Honduras also to demand accountability from the U.S. government for climate change and also to tell you how this is affecting our communities in Honduras.
A nosotros no solo nos están envenenando el agua, el aire y cortando nuestros bosques, también nos están asesinando por defender la madre tierra. Nos están asesinando los militares y policías financiados y apoyados también por el gobierno de Estados Unidos.
They are not just poisoning our rivers, they are not just cutting down our forests, they are not just poisoning our land, they are also assassinating people who stand up to defend Mother Earth, and they're doing that because of the financing that goes to the police and the military of Honduras.
Entonces, no solo es necesario en pensar energía limpia, sino también en pensar cómo los proyectos y extractivos, muchas veces proyectos hidroeléctricos, van a nuestras comunidades, se apoderan de nuestros ríos y crean violencia en nuestras comunidades.
It is necessary not just to think about clean energy, but to also think about how the different extractive projects and also projects like hydroelectric dams come and are imposed upon our lands, imposed upon our communities, and generate violence upon us.
Por último, contarles que estoy en la caravana de Se Necesitan Raíces y vamos a estar haciendo actividades acá. Y además decir que necesitamos despertar, necesitamos actuar por el planeta. Y actuar significa estar día a día moviéndose y corriendo el mismo riesgo y la misma suerte que a veces nos toca correr a nosotros en los países que estamos dando la materia prima para sostener este sistema de consumo que ya es insostenible y que va a acabar con el planeta.
And finally, to tell you that I am here as part of a caravan, the It Takes Roots caravan, and we are here reclaiming justice and saying that we need to double down our efforts and dedicate ourselves to fighting against this system of consumption and extraction, no matter what it takes, and run the same risks that we run back in our countries, because we are the ones that are the sources of the raw materials for this system.
Raise your hands. Impacted people from around Pennsylvania and around the nation. Raise your hands. Trade agreements, please raise your hands. And the environmental movement. Impacted people. So please, we'll take a few questions, but really we want you to split out and talk to all of the people here whose voices need to be heard.
My name is Ben Adler. I'm from grist.org, environmental site. I'm just wondering how exactly this relates to the Democratic National Convention, because there wasn't much discussion of that, and I'm wondering if you all are supporting the Hillary Clinton in the general election, considering the huge difference between her and Trump on these issues.
I'll just say that this is not a political event. We are 501c3 This is not a political event, so we're not here to talk about endorsing candidates. We are here to tell the Democratic Party that they should listen to their base and that we will be organizing going forward. That's what we're here to do. Yay. It's for the clean energy revolution, making our voices heard.
Yay! Hello. Excuse me. excuse me, but to follow up, I'm not hearing people saying get out and vote for the people. You're saying go against people. But if you don't tell your people to get out and vote for people, where are you left?
This is a 501c3 event, so we're not getting into politics. Any other questions from the press?
So who are you going to vote for? No one else. We're looking at the best as has concern. Sure, absolutely. Sort of comes down to
Can you tell me about today's event?
Yeah, right. We're in the courtyard of City Hall. They'll have signs. They should have signs.
Totally different. Thank you. Got it. On the back.
Okay, now I want everybody to close their eyes. This is going to be a meditation on compassion. So close your eyes and now visualize the planet Earth as it might have appeared early in the 19th century, before the Industrial Revolution. And now see as industrialization increases, the burning of fossil fuels increases, see the planet heating up, the climate and weather patterns changing till we reach the present, the year 2016. Now we are going to home in on the earth and focus on some communities affected most severely by climate change. And we are going to identify with each of these people. You are the child, dry and barren. Your parents realize that they can no longer live in this land, and they decide to head for Europe. You trek over long distances until you arrive at the edge of the Mediterranean Sea. You look back towards your homeland with deep regrets of everything you've left behind, and you look across at the sea, facing an uncertain future. Feel yourself identified with that child, even risking your life to cross the sea. India. This year, the monsoon rains have failed. Because of a warmer climate, the glacier mass has diminished, and so the streams of water coming down from the Himalayan mountains are thinner, insufficient to adequately irrigate your crops. In your heart, since some 250,000 farmers in India have already committed suicide. Next, you are a parent in the Philippines, living near the sea, who have gone out to play that day, playing along the beach. Suddenly and unexpectedly, a typhoon arises on the sea, and waves of water and fierce winds come sweeping over the land. You set out from your house to find your children and bring them indoors, but just as you look in their direction, you see a giant wave sweep over them and carry them out to sea, lost forever. In your heart, feel that you are that parent, watching your children vanish from your sight. Next, you are begins to take on a strange taste. The air becomes polluted, and when you protest, the political authorities tell you there is nothing you can do about it. These are some of the consequences of increasing climate change and the exploitation of fossil fuels. Now come back to your own body, your own identity, and realize that to avert these disasters, the responsibility falls on our shoulders. That is why we have gathered here today, but remember, we cannot do this individually alone, but only by joining our hearts, our wills, our minds in action to transform.
The sad truth is that we do have to feel the pain of the world, even as we try to make the world better. It's essential that our hearts stay open to that. Thank you, Bhikkhu, for bringing that in. We'll now have Reverend Retta Morgan, one of my favorite song leaders, ministers, reverends in the city of Philadelphia.
This is from the Lenape Indian tribe. Can you go a little bit? The Lenape Indian tribe.
If you would all take a deep breath.
Some of the women are all the way over. You can see.
is now. Now is the time. We are the ones we have been waiting for. The time is now, and we are the ones that we have been waiting for. I dedicate this song, and I'm going to sing, to all of our ancestors. My prayer is that the actions we take on behalf of change honor the best of our ancestors' legacies. All of our ancestors, the very best, that we honor them. Looking to stand for love, we can do it. If we don't, who will? There's nothing to it. Love is a blessed thing, it'll take us higher. But let's not mess around, come on, like that. Don't you want to light that fire? Yeah, 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 yeah. I've been searching all my life for a love so strong, my soul ignites. I want to join that holy band. Those are not afraid in the name of love to take a stand. Looking to stand for love, we can do it. Yeah, but if we don't, who will? There's nothing to it. Yeah, yeah. Love is a blessed thing, it'll take us higher. Well, let's not mess around, come on, like that. Don't you wanna like that? Fire! Fire! Yeah, yeah, yeah. Some may say it's much too late to right the wrongs we help to create. As we say yes to love and fight, we are miracle minded. There's a way we'll find it. I know that's right. If we don't, who will? There's nothing to it. Yeah. Love is a blessed thing, it'll take us higher. So let's not mess around, come on, like that. Come on, like that. Don't you wanna like that? Fire of love. Hey, yeah, looking to stand for love, we can do it.
We can do it.
Nancy Casper, who has come down from Rochester to help us transform the energy of the space. Nancy.
Let's take a moment right now to move into gratitude. Gratitude for being alive at this critical time for humanity and the planet. If you would just take a look around you at all the beautiful souls gathered in this space for the same reason as you. They've heard the planet's call for help and responded instinctually as one would when something they love is threatened. This is a piece from Drew Dellinger. It's 3:23 in the morning.
Wow. That's right. And in fact, we're not protesting. We are awakening. We are waking people up. The polar bear is not something to protest. The polar bear is something to celebrate. So we're here to remind people that this is a tangible reason. Oh, I would love it. It looks like I got a lot of people anyway, so I do have a sign here. I don't know where my sign man is. My sign.
Bernie contingent.
girl. We're friends on Facebook.
Oh, good. What's the name again?
Laura McGill.
Terrific.
From New York.
From New York, great.
From New York.
Yes, hi. How are you? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you.
I hope this has an impact. I hope.
I hope so. We got all
Yes.
this. We've been doing stuff for years, right?
Yep. But you know what? It's growing, swelling, critical mass, and it's not going away. That's the big thing. It's just not going away. It's only going to get bigger and louder.
Right. And hopefully Bernie does something.
I hope he does something. I hope that he somehow gets in on some ticket, because we're screwed otherwise.
Right.
Yeah. It's great to see you.
Yeah, good to see
Let's not be divided this way. Let's not be divided this way.
Here, everybody knows. Finally marching, looks like, huh? Some get mad at us for supporting Bernie, you know, they get really intense. They want us to support the Democratic Party. And I said, well, the Democratic Party has failed us again and again and again.
Aren't you afraid of Trump, though?
No, I'd rather not vote out of fear. I want to vote my conviction and my conscience. There is some fear, of course, but I also have fear of Hillary. She's a basic corporate advocate. Wall Street corporations. Can't trust her, basically, you know. So I'm just going to either write in Bernie or vote green.
It seems like most.
Okay, we got the police there. They look good. They look low key.
Absolutely.
Do you need any interviews? How are you guys doing?
We're doing pretty good.
You got enough people?
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, hi. Clean revolution. Pointing you out to my daughter, saying, we don't want your radiation.
Hi.
Syracuse. We just want a solar nation.
We just want a solar nation.
We don't want your frack pollution.
We don't want your frack pollution.
We just need a clean revolution.
We just need a green revolution. So we're finally walking, okay? Now we're doing it.
It feels better, doesn't it? Standing around waiting is really long.
And thankfully this is all shaded.
Yes, that's very good too. And it echoes nicely between buildings. The sound is amplified. That's a really good thing sometimes for rallies, because if you're out in the open, it sounds like there's no sound.
Right.
Jobs, freedom, and democracy.
Freedom and democracy.
We don't want your radiation.
We don't want your radiation.
We just want a solar nation.
We just want a solar nation.
We don't want your frack pollution.
We don't want your frack pollution.
We just need a clean revolution.
We just need a green revolution.
We don't want your radiation.
We don't want your radiation.
We just want a solar nation.
We just want a solar nation.
We don't want your frack pollution.
Hi.
We don't want your frack pollution. We just need a clean revolution.
Green revolution.
Carbon free and nuclear free.
Nuclear free.
That's the world we want to be.
That's the world we want to be.
Solar wind for all for free.
Solar wind for all for free.
Jobs, freedom, and democracy.
Jobs, freedom, and democracy.
We don't want your radiation.
We don't want your radiation.
We just want a solar nation.
We just want a solar nation.
We don't want your frack pollution. We don't want your frack pollution.
Is this person your person?
Yeah, she's following me around. They're doing a documentary.
Cool.
This is what democracy looks like. 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 This is what democracy looks like.
Sanders, burning.
Sanders! 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 Sanders!
Gotta hold traffic up too. Oh, thank you. Protect Maryland.
Yes.
This way we can move to it.
Yes. Oh, yes.
I'll need to. More Homeland Security people. So we're all feeling secure, I suppose. You're carrying such a heavy thing?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Heavy guy.
He must be a heavy guy. This is what, Mahatma Gandhi?
Yes. I think this is the last
This is for the convention, Democratic convention being set up. We got to the end of the parade.
Okay, now Sam, the problem I have with that is that I understand it when you just explained it to me. It was not clear when Mr. Trump was trying to explain it on a national broadcast earlier today. Isn't that of concern that he's not going to be able to explain things clearly to the American public if he's the one sitting in the
End of the parade. Police presence.
Party needs for signature.
So we're all coming here, I guess. I see some familiar faces, and we're optimistic. Things can happen. Good things. The First Amendment, freedom of speech. Philadelphia is following the First Amendment pretty good.
Yeah, but I heard they look pretty mild up there.
It was like insane. This march was bigger than any march down there, and there were literally 100 times more long.
So they're pretty good. It's low-key law enforcement. You know, seems low-key with the police.
Yeah, I was in Cleveland. It was insane.
Oh, Cleveland was
like
bad?
NATO. The people were cool. There was no violence and very few arrests.
Look at this, no bulletproof vests even.
Yeah. They were like armored to the teeth. In
Really?
Cleveland.
Wow.
I mean, everywhere. Like literally, there were like these groups of 30 cops on bikes with state-of-the-art body armor. I mean, the FBI, Homeland Security, anarchist kids marching around and literally being followed by 200 heavily armed police every step they took. You know, at the public square up there, which was supposed to be a free speech zone, it was like literally like ringed with law enforcement everywhere you look.
And that's Cleveland, and they were heavily militarized. So Philadelphia is giving a totally different image.
I didn't even know we were like in an area because I'm used to so much law enforcement being there. I was like, this is it, where's all the cops?
Maybe because it's Democratic convention different than Republicans?
I think they had that. There were so many threats made by racist groups and white supremacist groups and so much venomous comments on Trump's border side that people assumed that there would be a problem. But there wasn't. I mean, very, very little.
We're in the park here.
In your neighborhood. In your neighborhood, I'm gonna let it shine. In your neighborhood, I'm gonna let it shine. In the neighborhood, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. For climate justice. For climate justice, I'm gonna let it shine. For climate justice, I'm gonna let it shine. For climate justice, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. In this revolution, in this revolution.
Get a picture in front of it?
That's the original Capitol right there, Independence Hall.
Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
So I will take your picture when you want.
My people down, ain't no one gonna let go down. Ain't no one gonna let my people down. Ain't no one gonna let go down. Ain't no one gonna let my people down. Ain't no one gonna let go down. Ain't no one gonna let my people down. Ain't no one down. Ain't no one gonna let my people down. Ain't no one gonna let y'all down. Ain't no one gonna let my people down. Ain't no one gonna let y'all down. Ain't no one gonna let my people down. Ain't no one gonna let y'all down. Ain't no one gonna let my people down.
First of all, we'd like to thank the Creator for blessing us with this day.
Yeah.
We'd also like to thank Food and Water Watch for their due diligence to stand up in a big way and demand and promote clean. The EPA federal supervisor site in 2 areas outside of that that have not been listed for over 50 years.
Lancaster County.
Stands up in between the EPA, our people, under the leadership of Chief Wayne Perry, who's our tribal.
Oh, I thought you were talking.
Hey!
How you doing? Good, good to see you, and you're not in jail.
Right. Amazing. A miracle. Probably because the jail is full.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for stopping. You're part of this group too?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for stopping the pipelines.
Well, we're working on it.
They're starving. I'll take a picture of you. Is that okay?
Okay.
So they have no sense of this country. They're fascists.
Michelle Wolfgang, Million, Your Point, Key Street.
belongs to Martin, what means no less a welcome. A nation. Thank you, Creator, for giving us this day. Our Mother Earth. Our water.
This is Lancaster County, Lebanon Pipeline Awareness, Atlantic Sunrise Project, which is being delayed with all the opposition. Citizens in Pennsylvania fighting pipelines. Thank you. Thank you, Pennsylvania residents fighting pipelines.
We are the people. We are coming.
What do you want? Justice. When do you want it? Now. What do you want? Now. Justice. We're trying to get libraries for schools in Philly.
Thank you.
Oh, ok. Y este es un pequeño reportaje, bueno, de Filadelfia, de protestas, no protestas, principio de la convención. ¿Le podría preguntar a Cenaz? Claro que sí. ¿Le importa que para grabar, estoy haciendo un pequeño, ahora que estamos modernos, entonces tenemos fotos, escribimos y hacemos vídeos, con mucho gusto. ¿A qué ha venido usted acá a Filadelfia? ¿Qué le trae acá?
He venido de Los Ángeles a unirme a un mensaje para el público y para los demócratas, que no queremos más extracción de petróleo. Necesitamos parar el método de extracción que le llaman hidráulico, fracking, que está destruyendo la tierra, el agua y el planeta. Y queremos que antes de la convención de los demócratas, que ellos escuchen que la comunidad está en contra de que ellos sigan siendo comprados por los petroleros.
¿Cree que les van a escuchar en la convención?
Pues la mayoría de ellos necesitan nuestro voto y no vamos a votar por ningún demócrata que no tome una posición en contra de detener el método de extracción hidráulico, fracking, ahora mismo.
Tal como están las cosas, si Hillary Clinton no consigue suficientes votos, la alternativa sería Donald Trump en noviembre. ¿Están dispuestos a arriesgar esa posibilidad por hacer escuchar su voz o el día de noviembre van a votar?
Mira, siempre estamos en la encrucijada de quién es el diablo peor, de dos. Ahorita tenemos dos, Trump y Hillary Clinton. No hay mucha diferencia entre los dos, pero no vamos a hacer otra vez que nos hagan otra vez en esta encrucijada de que tenemos que votar por uno de los dos peores. Así es de que tenemos que tomar una determinación para que los demócratas no piensen que siempre vamos a estar de último dándoles nuestro voto, que siempre pueden contar con nosotros, no importa qué es lo que ellos hagan en contra de los intereses públicos. Así es que tenemos que decidir a votar de conciencia y no permitir que los demócratas se sigan aprovechando de que siempre vamos a votar por ellos.
Estamos en Filadelfia, que es la cuna de la democracia de Estados Unidos. Estamos ante un edificio histórico. Acá se cocinó la democracia, la independencia del país y la democracia. ¿Tiene un mensaje esto para ustedes más importante aún? ¿Qué significa estar en Filadelfia? Que esto tenga lugar en Filadelfia.
Sí, para mí ha sido una gran alegría estar aquí y ver todos estos edificios originales donde la Constitución se empezó. La Constitución de Estados Unidos dice que la gente tiene que tener el poder y que los representantes en el Congreso tienen que trabajar para la gente. Y ahorita no está pasando eso, están violando las leyes de la Constitución porque son los representantes del Congreso solo están trabajando por los intereses de los ricos y los poderosos y por los que están destruyendo este planeta. Yo creo que los que hicieron la Constitución, los padres de la Constitución, los creadores de la Constitución, se podrían levantar de su tumba de ver cómo están violando la Constitución que era para trabajar por la gente.
Los dos partidos, no solo, digamos, lo están violando todas las partes.
Exactamente, y siempre están trabajando en contra de los intereses de la población, por la banca, por los millonarios y ellos son los que están controlando a estos títeres en el gobierno.
Muchísimas gracias. ¿Te puedo preguntar su nombre?
Alicia Rivera.
Rivera, ¿y usted viene desde Los Ángeles?
Sí.
¿Se va a quedar toda la semana?
No, nosotros no estamos aquí por los demócratas, por la convención. Estamos aquí simplemente como parte de una mensaje, es una manifestación para detener ahora mismo toda extracción de petróleo, especialmente el fracking. Porque si no lo hacemos, no vamos a poder salvar el planeta.
Muchísimas gracias. Y bueno, gracias por hablarme en español.
Por supuesto.
Gracias.
This is great.
Volunteer at Carpenter's Hall, so I was there today when Mr. Wolf hit.
Oh, Mr. Wolf was there?
Yes. So I was representing the hall for when the governor was there this morning.
He was there this morning?
Yeah.
Well, about what time would you say?
11.
11? Oh, wow. We've been trying to meet with the governor for a long time about climate and energy and fracking, and he refuses to meet with us. And we've asked him for, I guess months and months. So he came by. What was his purpose to come by?
I just wonder what the founding fathers would have thought about these new, Congress people who are working just for the wealthy and for the petroleum industry and the interest of the middle.
The governor was there this morning. Wow.
I don't offer political opinions like that when I'm in one of these outfits. Simply because I know the history, but I don't.
No, the
I don't.
Pennsylvania governor was visiting his place.
And you're the one who put "we the people." You're the ones who are saying "we the people" of the United States of America. The people are for the people and by the people. Aren't you the ones who are writing the Constitution right now?
This is supposed to be George Washington.
When I portray Mr. Washington.
Right.
But we're talking 18th century. We the people was a little different in the 18th century.
Yeah.
You're trying to put you on them, not them on you, which is different. So an 18th century individual would have a different opinion than the one we're talking about right now.
But then they were against, they were for the interest of the population and making sure that the industry was not monopolizing everything. The rail was not monopolizing, everything. And there was control of the corporation so that they don't have a monopoly. And
but not then. We've gone up and down on that one. You have moments where we have a government that's very centric toward industry, and then we swing back in the other direction, and they look at a more populist version of it. And we've gone back and forth. It's in the 18th century when George Washington is writing the Constitution, he's all about getting industry here because we have very little. We're an agrarian society. 90% of us are agrarian. We're on the farm. There's no industry here. There's no heavy industry. So he wants nothing but industry to come here. So it's a different story.
Do you know why he did, or why was he pushing for industry?
Because we need the economy. Because we need the economy.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. Yeah.
People weren't sufficient.
And it's why Jefferson was not too happy with the stance, because Jefferson had his own opinion of the situation. They were very much about bringing industry to the shores of America, especially in the 18th century. There's an incident where, that's a whole other story.
So where is...
Are you recording this whole thing?
Yeah. Sorry, but I'm from northeastern Pennsylvania, from Susquehanna County, and she's from Los Angeles.
Yes.
So we're from out of the area. Do you know where your building is? I guess you do know, but where's Carpenter Building where the governor went this morning? What's the address?
Right there.
It's right there?
Yeah.
So the corner of
4th and Chestnut.
4th and Chestnut. And what was his purpose for coming?
He was just visiting the building. I mean, his background is in the building trades. He's a cabinet maker by trade. So we are the oldest established home builders group in the country. We're a guild fashioned after the guilds of Europe in the Middle Ages. Home of the First Continental Congress of the United States. So it's a great place to kick off anything.
It looks like your shoes are from that time, too.
They are.
So is it open still? Is it still open if we want to go in it?
It's open till 4.
Till 4? Oh. We got 15 minutes if you want to go in.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do there.
But I mean, he feels, you know, the building is just it's an important location in American history, and he just feels a connection to the building and the group that own it, and you know, it's a building built by builders for builders, and that is his background.
So did he say anything? Happen to say anything about the march that was going on? Did he?
No, we talked history.
He took history?
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's interesting. He was in town while the march was going on.
We talked history.
Yeah, so maybe we can go to the building before it closes. We got 15 minutes.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Thank you so much
You're welcome.
for your time. Thank you, sir. Thank you, George.
Thanks.
You look very well preserved.
For a 300-year-old guy.
Right, right. So we're here at the Carpenters Hall where Governor Wolf was at 11 o'clock, according to one of the employees here who portrays George Washington. And he refused to meet and acknowledge any of the thousands of people who marched today for energy, clean energy, for no TPP, and for progressive ideals and climate change, clean energy and everything. And the governor was here in Philadelphia and did not acknowledge any of us. The governor is not willing to acknowledge the people who have been claiming harm from the fracking industry and other situations, and he's willing to, it's not a governor for the people, he's only a governor for some of the people. We are ignored again and again. We're here in the historic district of Philadelphia and we see police around. And now we see some up here on this balcony. They're looking around. Okay. You have more DHS security, Homeland Security people. Black men for Bernie.
Bueno, nosotros
Ya viene por la está en la marcha de la
Sí.
Clean Energy.
Ajá.
Básicamente que me imagino que usted está aquí para la Convención Demócrata o vive aquí en Filadelfia, ¿no?
No, yo he venido de Los Ángeles para participar en estos eventos, para mandar un mensaje a los demócratas que queremos que detengan, que tomen una determinación inmediatamente en contra de más extracción de petróleo por medio hidráulico, que es fracking, porque si queremos una esperanza de salvar el planeta, tenemos que detener todo tipo de minería inmediatamente. Por eso estamos aquí.
Y usted como hispana, ¿qué opinión nos puede dar con respecto a los demócratas sobre la reforma migratoria? ¿Qué espera usted? Me imagino que usted como hispana conocerá mucha gente que está en situación indocumentada.
Por supuesto, yo estoy en favor de la reforma migratoria y desgraciadamente los republicanos no han permitido ni siquiera
Vamos a ponerla ahí.
And you're going to have to take me to the... I might have to, yeah.
I better take that one.
Díganos su nombre, de dónde viene y a qué se dedica.
Mi nombre es Alicia Rivera, yo vengo de Los Ángeles y soy una organizadora comunitaria con una organización para el medio ambiente no lucrativa.
¿Qué espera usted de la Convención Nacional Demócrata que se va a celebrar mañana aquí en Filadelfia?
Espero que la plataforma de los demócratas estén de acuerdo en poner más aspectos progresivos, como por ejemplo detener el Tratado de Libre Comercio con los países asiáticos, el TPP, que va a afectar los trabajos aquí en América y a los trabajadores en esos países. También quisiera que tomaran una determinación en la plataforma sobre la reforma migratoria para ayudar a los millones de personas indocumentadas en este país, que hasta ahora no se ha podido hacer nada bajo Obama debido a que los republicanos no lo han permitido. Espero yo que los demócratas ganen más puestos en el Congreso y en el Senado para que puedan tener mayoría, porque ellos sí van a pasar una reforma migratoria que favorezca a los millones de personas sin documentos en este país, especialmente latinos. Gracias a ustedes.
Déjenme escribir su nombre de nuevo.
Alicia Rivera.
About it, because the political future of the United States is in your hands, and you know it, and you keep showing up, and we're going to keep showing up for the people's agenda again and again and again until we win every piece of this, until we stop TPP, until we ban fracking, until we get single-payer health care, until we stop the wars, until we stop the drone attacks, until we stop NSA from spying on us. You know the agenda. You know what it is. It is your agenda. We will not stop until we win. Woo! Now we have some amazing folks with us tonight. You know who's on the bill, right? You know Danny Glover's going to be here. You know Susan Sarandon's going to be here. In just a minute, we're going to have Shailene Woodley up here. We're going to have Nako Bear sing for us tonight. We're going to have a dance party that goes until midnight with DJ Tommy Sunshine. And we're going to play my film, Under the Stars, When It Gets Dark. Now listen, I want to introduce to you tonight one of our hosts, one of our MCs, to introduce our first speaker. Here he is, an amazing man who I love, who was in Orlando at the Platform Committee getting ready to storm the stage for the fracking cause, Mr. Anthony Rogers Wright.
Just have to give a sec for my most important client right here. Give it up for my son, Zaire Cielo, who's turning 1 next week. And his amazing mother, Tally Smith, who was the Rookie of the Year for Mothers in 2016. My name is Anthony Rogers Wright. I'm a climate justice activist. I'm an environmental justice activist. And do we have any fractivists in the house? Do we have any climate justice activists in the house? Do we have any climate revolutionaries in the house? Make some noise again. You look so beautiful out there. But straight up, we've got to get serious. We've got to get serious. There are a lot of people in our movement who don't think that there's intersections between what's happening to our environment and the racial justice movement. But we know that's false, because climate change is not just a set of nefarious natural phenomena. Climate change is a system of oppression. Climate change is racist. Climate change is patriarchal. Climate change is homophobic. Climate change is Islamophobic. And climate change continues to exercise genocide against our native sisters and brothers. And that's why we're going to stop it, one way or another. As my brother Josh Fox said in Orlando, never look at the size of the enemy. Never look at the size of the enemy. They may have more money than us. They may have more politicians in their pockets than us. But we have the truth. And once you've seen the truth, you can't go back. And we've got each other. And we've got love. And we've got our children. So we know what we're fighting for right now. Absolutely. And so when I was just reading my sister Rebecca Solnit's book about hope, that's also what we have. And our sister Rebecca says that hope has got to be an axe that breaks down the door. Hope has got to be action, direct action. We have shown that we can shut down frack gas infrastructure and fracking gas pipelines. And if necessary, we also know that we can shut down and will shut down political establishments that are not listening to us. We are no longer falling for the okie doke. No more incremental policies. No more natural gas is a bridge from coal. Natural gas is a gangplank. Fracking is one of the most profound examples of environmental racism. It breaks treaties with our native sisters and brothers. The browner and blacker you are, the more of a chance you have to be situated next to frack gas infrastructure and fracking wastewater. And we also know that it's not just our sisters and brothers in Flint who are suffering from tainted water. We also have to tell the story about our native sisters and brothers in New Mexico and Arizona whose water has been tainted for 50 years. We are not going to allow for an iniquitous transmission of urgency. We are going to tell our story. We are going to control our narrative. And we are never going to depend on the corporate media ever again to tell our story. We have to be our own media. Look at the person next to you right now and say, your struggle is mine and my struggle is yours. We take care of each other because what we are fighting for right now is each other. I love all of you. Solidarity and struggle. All power to all people.